During a press conference yesterday, well, actually before a press conference yesterday, Ron DeSantis decided that he was unhappy that some of the college students and high school students on the stage with him were wearing masks, and it was caught on camera how he berated the children for wearing their face coverings. Take a look at this video.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
All right, well, it's good to be at USF.
Again, these are young college students, and in fact, some of them, it has been confirmed, were from a local high school. So high school students up there too. And DeSantis walks up to them, gives them false medical information, because yes, masks do work, and then says, this is ridiculous. I mean, leave it on if you want, but this is ridiculous. All you had to say, by the way, was nothing. Now, a lot of people I've seen on social media believe that this was staged, that Ron DeSantis knew these kids were wearing masks and had planned on going up there and saying that. But either way, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't change what happened at all. And in fact, it only makes it worse if he had planned on doing that by intentionally bringing up the kids on stage that were wearing masks. Not to mention, this was from, what channel was that? I believe WFLA, it says right there on the bottom. So this was a local news station that was covering the event that probably he didn't know for certain had their cameras rolling at that time. Usually they don't catch these kind of hot mic moments on purpose. So I think it's a big stretch to say that this was intentional because he didn't know that that camera was rolling. But nevertheless, what kind of a bully, right? What kind of a small, insignificant man goes up there and berates these children and young adults for wearing a face covering during a pandemic, which for the record yesterday killed over 2,400 people here in the United States. We may all be acting like the pandemic is over, but it is not. The death toll, the average death toll that we are currently seeing for the past month is the highest we've ever seen in the pandemic. I mean, you could argue that it's literally worse than ever in terms of deaths, because it is. And this guy, DeSantis, who is taking his medical advice from his hand-picked Surgeon General Ladapo, who at one point had a great medical career but turned into a complete quack, which is why DeSantis picked him, has the audacity to go up there and get onto these kids. How do you know, by the way, that none of these kids had compromised immune systems? You have no way of knowing that. You have no way of knowing if they live with somebody with a compromised immune system. Maybe they've been exposed to COVID and it hasn't been long enough for them to test positive or negative yet. Maybe they have colds. There's all kinds of different circumstances why those children or young adults, would need to wear a mask. But DeSantis doesn't care about any. The masks don't work, he said. Really? You want to tell that to any hospital worker here in the United States? You want to tell that to surgeons performing open heart surgeries right now, run into the operating room, scream, take off your mask, it does nothing. If it did nothing, the surgeons wouldn't wear them. They know a lot more than you. But this shows us how truly, deeply disturbing, disgusting, and tiny these Republicans feel right now. Ron DeSantis is a scumbag. And what he did to those kids is proof, and I hope everybody pays attention to that, to how triggered this man got at the sight of a couple of young adults wearing a face mask. And you tell me if you think he has the temperament to ever be president of the United States.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.